What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing! I think I was gonna do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in. We begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Hey, Friday edition of the program. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, live from Atlantic High School down in Delray. It's Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo with you. We got Damian Prez filling in for Christian Cat behind the glass over back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We got you for the next basically 6 hours right here on ESPN 106.3. It's hot outside. It's the Florida Heat, Friday, August the 15th. A little bit of a breeze right now. Mike Rizzo drank a full Gatorade in just about 4 seconds before we got on air today. So he's all
needed it too, brother.
He's all hydrated. And we're all healthy as we got high school game day tonight that is going to take place at Atlantic High School. You're going to have Christian Cat on the call tonight on ESPN 106.3. 6:30 kickoff. You got Atlantic taking on Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Palm Beach Gardens High, I think, tonight. I could be wrong. But that will be tonight, and that will be a lot of fun. You got myself in the pregame alongside Mike. Mike Rizzo will be at a different game. You'll be at Joaquin Garcia
Yep, I'll be at Garcia. Looking forward to it.
So we'll be all over the Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast area with high school football kicking off tonight with all the kickoff classics. A little bit yesterday, a little bit today. West Boca Chaminade was yesterday. A lot of big games and a lot of good coverage. You can catch that on our socials at ESPN West Palm. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, hypothesizing what it could be, and I think Mike and I were both on the same page that it was going to be light, and that it was. The NCAA officially released their official punishment for Michigan.
That's a punishment.
In the 2022-2023 sign-stealing scandal with College Alliance.
You said punishment. That's not a... I think we got to find a slap on the wrist, maybe?
It's $20 million, Mike.
No? Colin, no loss of scholarship. No postseason ban. Maybe I have to realize that this is college football of 2025 because Terrell Pryor got tattoos apparently illegally, and they got, let's just say, let's put it this way, they weren't able to compete in the postseason. How is actually cheating on the field not going to get a postseason ban. But then you astutely reminded me, Riz, it's 2025 and the NCAA is basically a powerless entity. What a joke. Why even go through this facade that Michigan is going to get disciplined when they just get a $30 million fine? And I think, the TV rights, they said playoff football. I think I read something along the lines, if they make the college football playoff bowl game, whatever, they're not going to see the revenue money.
Yes, they're not going to see any postseason money if they make it into the postseason. What the official punishment is Sharon Moore, the head coach of Michigan, who was on the staff, of course, underneath Harbaugh when this all was going down, who famously had deleted text messages between himself and Connor Stalions during the investigation, so that sort of was an admission of guilt in some regard. He is going to be suspended for 3 total games over 2 years. Doesn't make a lot of sense. 3 games over 2 years. He will be suspended for week 3 and 4 of this year, as well as week 1 of next year in 2026. So he will be suspended. They will have a $20 million fine to the program. So it's $20 million in the hole from the athletic department, which is that's a substantial amount of money. That I can say. But Mike's right. No postseason ban. There is going to be no vacation of wins. There is going to be nothing of that regard in regard to what happened 3 years ago. And there's going to be nothing that really impacts the player in the future. Mm-hmm. So that's what they did. They said the only way that we could punish Michigan here is if the one coach, they can't punish Harbaugh. Harbaugh's in the NFL.
Oh, well, they did.
They did, but they gave him a 10-year. You can't be in the NCAA. He doesn't care. He's not coming back to the NCAA.
And Connor Stalions is cheating over at high school football now.
Right. So Connor Stalions, at least we're done with him. But Harbaugh's not coming back anytime soon to the NCAA, so you can't punish him with him being at the Chargers. Sharon Moore, you can punish, and what you did is you allowed Michigan to choose what games this year for him to not be allowed to coach, and that's going to be week 3 and 4, which is Nebraska and Central Michigan on Michigan's schedule. In week 2, they have Oklahoma. So they play Oklahoma, which is, funny enough, where Sharon Moore went to school. So he gets to coach that game. Then he purposely, and I guess it's planned for Michigan. That was their idea. They said, all right, we'll suspend him for 2 games, and it'll be for week 3 and 4.
Theoretically speaking, which you can listen to on this station 2 to 4, Theo and Christian, they compared it to picking your jail time. Sir, you're going to get a year. All right, well, I'm going to split it up. I'm going to do 4 months here, then I'm going to be out for about a year, and then I'm going to make up my next 6 in about 2 years. That's what Michigan's doing here. And it's a joke. Now, he is going to be suspended for games in 2026. They're going to have
game.
They're going to have to find out when that game is, if it's the beginning of the season or whatnot. But this is the biggest slap on the wrist that I've ever seen.
It was a slap on the wrist.
And I think that this proves that the NCAA has absolutely no power. There is no power, no hope for the NCAA when it comes to things like this. The Big Ten and the SEC gets so big. If they want to go away from the NCAA, how is the NCAA going to tell them not to? How are they going to get them not to do that with the lack of power that's going on right now? I mean, the power dynamic that the NCAA has over these schools is laughable, and I think it was proven today.
I think what you're trying to say is you don't want them to – the NCAA doesn't want to punish them too much because they don't want to upset a big horse in the barn.
Correct.
They don't want to upset one of their big pieces, their big focal points of one of their biggest conferences, if not their biggest conference. So they don't want to upset them, as in Michigan, too much. Michigan knows they were wrong. They know they were going to get suspended, but the NCAA almost allowed Michigan to play ball with them. They allowed them to almost negotiate a way to properly, in Michigan's eyes, punish the school. What this does is completely play down the middle in terms of how you upset both sides. Mike's the Ohio State fan, so you got 2 sides here. Number one, the fact that they punished them to this degree, especially financially, it tells you that Michigan was wrong. It tells you that Michigan is guilty. But on the other end, you have the other end of the slap on the wrist type penalty. So what this does is this tells the Ohio State fan that there are games that Michigan had won that they shouldn't have won. Mm-hmm. And that there are actual asterisk marks, legitimate asterisk marks that you could attach to Michigan in that title-winning season or the season before, whatever it might have been, their sort of re-rise to resurgence that they had those last couple years before Harbaugh left. So it gives Ohio State the ammo that this team actually did something wrong.
Right.
And that we should vacate, we should, asterisk them, the whole thing. And on the other side, this is such a slap of the wrist that I got to imagine the Michigan fan is sitting there thinking, well, this exonerates us. You know, if it was really that big of a deal, they would have, threw the book at us, and they didn't. So this almost allows us to just move on from this because it's going to be a penalty that we essentially don't feel.
They said that there was enough evidence for a postseason ban, but the main culprits aren't there anymore. Connor Stallions and Harbaugh, which
I agree with.
I agree with that. So it's okay to just break the rules and not have to.
Hold on, but what are you going to say? But what you just said,
the head coach
you're
was
punishing players that weren't there and haven't been recruited by Harbaugh.
The head coach is the offensive coordinator, though. That's my pushback.
All right, suspend him. That's the one I agree with. I think they should have suspended him for half the season.
And he deleted 52 text messages. I just listen. You're right. I am the Buckeye fan and all of this, but I find it a joke. I really find it a joke that the NCAA is this powerless and they're this afraid to go after a university that clearly broke the rules and clearly cheated.
But what would you have liked? All right, so
a postseason ban, at least a year.
So wait,
a postseason ban and loss of scholarships. You wouldn't hear me complaining about anything.
So I don't care. The lost scholarships I kind of agree with. It's not that big of a deal in hindsight. But tell me. The postseason ban hurts the next player. How does that really get back?
Don't go to Michigan. Don't go to a school that cheats. Don't go to a program that cheats. Not my problem. They cheated 2 years ago. They haven't got disciplined for it yet.
Again, you're hurting. But what about the players that are currently there?
Well, you could transfer out. You could hit the portal whenever you want. Go ahead and leave Michigan.
No, that's
a punishment. That's a punishment.
You're punishing people that didn't do it.
So what? It's not my fault.
What? Don't you want justice to be served?
Not my
one person is on the locker.
The university. The justice being served.
You punish Sharon Moore. That's who you punish.
The justice being served is the university. The university has been, like you said, cooperating with the NCAA and pushing this back as far as they can. Well, the Judgment Day, and nothing happened. I understand what you're saying. Don't punish the students that are there that didn't cheat, 3 years ago. It's not my problem, though. This is when the verdict came out. They cheated.
What they can do and what they should have done is Sharon Moore should have seen a hefty suspension. That would be, if you really wanted them to feel it, because that is Harbaugh's guy. That's the guy who Harbaugh said when he left, this is the guy you keep around, this is the guy you hire fresh off a championship. And they did. You want to feel it. Yeah, Harbaugh sort of looks like the bad guy. But can you imagine if Sharon Moore was suspended for the entire season today? Everybody would be in Harbaugh's grill at NFL training camp because they know it's Harbaugh's fault.
Right.
It's Harbaugh's fault that this guy can't coach the whole year. That's a punishment.
But they're afraid.
Because that's where Harbaugh feels it, and that's where Sharon Moore feels it. My opinion. Yes, Michigan, the team will suffer, maybe because they don't have their head coach, but the student athlete still has a chance to compete if they're still good enough. That's what I would say.
The three things that would have actually hurt the program today. Number one, if they took away the championship, which I don't think they should have done.
And
I don't think
they would have never done because the new president of the NCAA, Charlie Baker, said they wanted fair and square. They're not going to go back on their word.
And they did.
And they're not going to go back on their word.
I'm not sitting here and arguing that. They cheated the 2 years prior to that. The second thing that they could have done that actually hurt was giving them that postseason ban. Giving them that ban of not being able to play in the college football playoff. And the third one is to your credit, the Sharon Moore suspension for the entire year. They didn't do any of that today. That's wrong. That's wrong. I agree with you. I agree with you that the national championship thing would be ridiculous. But the three things that would have actually hurt the university today are those three things, and none of it happened.
And 3 games for Sharon Moore. Really? Can we talk seriously for a second? 3 games over 2 seasons. 3 games that they could choose. You're gonna have Central Michigan, Nebraska, and when they play Toledo next year, and he's gonna be able to sit out the games. That's really. At least when they punished Harbaugh, he missed the Ohio State game. And I know they got him back before the playoff, but at least he missed the Ohio State game.
Right.
Sharon Moore's not missing any big-time games. I mean, come on. Can we really start to think? I agree with your point that if there is no more clear-cut, clear-as-day display of where the NCAA's power lies and how strong they think they are internally, look no further than this Michigan punishment.
Yep.
Because this is them, the NCAA, not wanting to upset a head horse in the barn. And this is them not wanting to be that over-governing figure that doesn't sit well with teams whenever they do these suspensions. Because these teams, obviously believe, or these conferences, better yet, believe that they don't need the NCAA as much as the NCAA needs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what some of these teams think. That's what some of these conferences think. All of a sudden, you take Michigan out, then that hurts TV contracts, that hurts TV money. I don't know how long that would be. And I don't think there would be financial ramifications in terms of TV revenue. You're talking about that the biggest Fox game of the year, the biggest Big Ten game of the year, where they had huge ratings. If Michigan was not playing with any implications, then the game's not going to be as good.
It's Pete Thamel and Dan Wetzel, ESPN.com. The size of the fines is expected to be considerable. Although an exact amount will not be immediately available, the fines include a $50,000 initial levy, 10% of the football budget, 10% of the cost of football scholarships for 2025, and the loss of all postseason competition revenue sharing for the 2025 and 2026 season. Pete Thamel said the sum could easily eclipse $30 million. So that's exactly where the money is is going to be coming from. Like you said, man, that hurts, but $30 million to a school like Michigan, brother, I'm sure they could get that from.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, I agree with that, but that is a lot of money. 10% of their football budget. But another thing that was interesting in the NCAA report, which came out earlier today, which announced the punishment for Michigan for their sign-stealing scandal, which happened about 2 years ago. And the punishment came out. They're getting a $25-30 million to-be-determined fine. And they are going to have Sharon Moore, head coach of Michigan football, missing 3 games over the next 2 seasons. 2 this year, weeks 3 and 4, and 1 next year. In the public report, the NCAA stated, weirdly enough, that Connor Stalions, shockingly enough, was uncooperative with both the NCAA's investigation and its infractions hearing process. It said, quote, Harbaugh ran a program that was largely dismissive of rules compliance. There was little, if any, emphasis on the rules, unquote. So the funny part is, Michigan didn't cooperate here. None of the brass, when you're actually, clearly Sharon Moore didn't want to cooperate because he deleted the text messages and then said he was saving storage and then changed his mind, eventually admitted that it was because of the story coming out. He did eventually admit that. Jim Harbaugh ran off to the NFL. Nobody cares what Connor Stalions is doing. This is funny, rich almost, because these teams not even cooperating, and you still don't punish them crazy.
Well, here's what happened. The guys, to your point, the guys who did all this aren't there. And you want the university saying, well, we don't have control over them anymore.
Well, that's
They're not
true.
here
They
anymore.
don't have control
That's
over
what they
Harbaugh.
said. Now, this comes from Norman Bay, Colin, the chief hearing officer for the NCAA committee on the infractions. He said this on Friday, today. You don't put together a network of individuals called the KGB that records what they call dirty film, where the cost of doing this is in tens of thousands of dollars over 3 seasons unless you intend to gain a substantial competitive advantage. And also, finally, in the sign-stealing case, Michigan and its coaches and staffers were charged with 6 Level 1 violations, which are the most serious. You're right. Are the guys there that did this? No. But there should be some kind of justice. The justice served today is not good enough in my eyes. It's not good enough, bro.
There was only one route for me that makes this worth it. I think the way you make Michigan feel it, the way you make Harbaugh feel it, is you give Sharon Moore a major suspension. You make him the fall guy for this entire investigation because he's the one guy that you could attach to the actual investigation that's still with Michigan and still has attachments to Harbaugh and Stalions. That's how you make him feel it. If they suspended Sharon Moore for the entire 2025 season when they had the number 1 overall player coming in to play quarterback as a true freshman, that would be a major, in my opinion, a major blow to Michigan football. And maybe they don't feel it. Maybe they have a guy waiting in the mists that is ready to take over, but Sharon Moore just got there. That would, to me, would be a viable punishment. If they took off the $30 million, like you said, and they took off the postseason revenue sharing, and they suspended Sharon Moore for the entire season, that's how you make him feel it. That to me would have been a fair punishment for Michigan.
Have him play for nothing for 1 year. I'm fine with that.
I don't like hurting the student. I don't agree with that. You said it happened to Ohio State, and fine, but that Ohio State was not a right punishment. Just because that happened when the NCAA was stronger, doesn't mean you do it again.
Karma came back around and went undefeated, won the national championship the year after. Karma's coming for these guys. Don't you worry about that. Karma's coming for these band of cheaters over there in the state of Michigan. Don't worry about that.
888-760-3776. How would you have punished Michigan if you were the NCAA here to give them a fair punishment in the sign-stealing scandal? They're just getting about 3 games over 2 years for Sharon Moore, head coach, being suspended, and they're getting about $20 to $30 million in estimated financial loss in the football program. You think that the postseason ban, way too much, my opinion. Way too much. You can't vacate the title because it's funny enough, Charlie Baker is the new president of the NCAA. One of the first things he said when he took office, and he was a former governor, when he took that NCAA office in 2023, I want to say spring, right before that season, the following year, that first year, he kept saying about how Michigan won fair and square. Said that multiple times.
Not arguing that.
And he said they won that game fair and square.
They did.
So that draws one arm behind the NCAA's back because they cannot impede on that. Charlie Baker's still there as the president of the NCAA. They're not going to walk back on his word. That's not the right thing to do, especially for a guy who just took over the NCAA. So that was nice. Let's forget that. And if you really thought that the postseason ban was the right route, I would agree. But the one thing is you have nobody that's still there. You have other than Sharon Moore, you got nobody you might have a couple players here and there, but all those guys that are there either have they hit the road. That was a national championship team or close to it. They've all hit the road, went to the draft, graduated, most of them at least. And I can't sit here and agree with that because I don't agree with any postseason ban because it just kills the team's season, and I want good football. I would have suspended Sharon Moore. You want to make that's what for a long period of time, one season. That's the right punishment for me.
I'm going to bring it. You think it's a university that has the highest standards when the network of individuals were referred to as the KGB between staffers. The KGB, they were finding the quote unquote dirty film that they called. They lost to Ohio State so many times they had to go and cheat. Fair play to him. Fair play to him, Kyle. I wanted a little bit more today. I'm starting to repeat. I'm starting to repeat myself. So as you can tell, I'm very upset about this. Very upset that they listen. I could handle the no postseason review if you get rid of some scholarships, get rid of some players that are going to help the program for years down the line. They did nothing.
You get rid of the coach. You get rid of the coach. You get rid of the coach. That's it.
They did nothing today. $30 million, dude. The boosters probably already paid that. They probably reached out to who's the one filthy rich guy that they have? I can't remember off the top of my head. They probably already reached out to that bloke. They probably already have the $30 million. They probably have all that stuff that they're going to get rid of today. This is ridiculous. It's a slap on the wrist. Nothing happened. So good to know. You could cheat your butt off in college football and get away with it. It's good to know for all the programs, by the way, that plan on cheating, you're going to get a slap on the wrist and nothing's going to happen. Oh, you might lose out on $10 million, $20 million, but don't worry. The NCAA has no power anymore, and you're going to get away with murder.
All right, hold on. One thing I'll say is you're an Ohio State fan. Money is no object. I mean, money, $20 million is not much to you. It's not much to the Ohio State fan. $20 million is, I agree, not to Michigan either, but that is a substantial amount of money.
All right, let me rephrase. If you're a big-time program and want to get a competitive advantage and cheat your butt off and are one of the 6-7 schools year in and year out that have a realistic chance to win it all, you could cheat your butt off and get a slap on the wrist now because the NCAA has no power. That's the precedent they set today.
I'm happy this is over. I'm happy I never got to hear about Connor Stallions ever again. I'm happy I never got to hear about Jim Harbaugh's college career ever again. I'm happy I never got to hear about Jim Harbaugh's college career ever again. I'm glad I don't have to hear about the asterisks attached to 2023, 2022 Michigan. I'm glad I don't have to hear about it. I'm glad this is over. Are Michigan always going to be viewed as that team? Probably, at least for the next couple of years. Hopefully that does enough, but hopefully that we can move past this. I mean, I'm a little over this, to be completely honest. They did it wrong. We know the NCAA did it wrong, but when do we ever trust the NCAA to get it right? Truly. When do they ever get it right? Really? They're always going to screw something up. They're always going to screw up, whether it's expansion, moving teams around, doing this, doing that. They always get it wrong. I can't imagine that they were not gonna hit this up. They either punish too much or punish too little. And now we're in the age where I think thick, heavy NCAA punishments, that age is over.
Yep.
That age is over.
It is because
if you're setting a precedent, like you said, I agree. They've set a precedent that the age of true intense suspensions or punishments are over. They can't touch the NIL. That's nothing to do with the NCAA. It's nothing to do with the school. They can't touch it. They can't touch the boosters. Now it's to pay for play with the revenue share. There's a lot that the NCAA can't touch. And the only thing and with the coaches gone, it was a tricky spot, but there was one guy who they could have really hurt there, and that's Sharon Moore as the head coach of Michigan. They didn't. That was the one thing I think they missed out. Do I think this is a slap of the wrist like Mike? I do. Suspended for the season. 888-760-3776. How would you have suspended Michigan if given the opportunity instead of the slap of the wrist that they got by the NCAA? Today, that's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo. We're at Atlantic High School down in Delray. Atlantic taking on Palm Beach Central, not Palm Beach Gardens. Palm Beach Central tonight at 6:30 on ESPN 106.3 for ESPN West Palm High School game day. So that will be a lot of fun, but we're live on site. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and if you love football, you're in the right place. Tonight, the 2025 season of High School Game Day is coming to your city. ESPN West Palm is on campus for Palm Beach Central at Atlantic, live from Delray Beach at 6 here on ESPN 106.3.
ESPN West Palm is on the move. Brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, the most trusted moving company in Florida. You're safe with Safebound.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Kane is in the building.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
We're not at the studios, but we're still thinking about Anajar and Levine. If you've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, they're here to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Why settle for just any attorney? Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes is one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation today. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. When I got into a bike accident, Glenn Levine was my first text, and he could be your first text too. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo with you. We're live at Atlantic Community High School down in Delray. We got ESPN West Palm High School game day going to be here tonight for Atlantic and Palm Beach Central. 888-760-3776. The Michigan punishment is officially out, and they are getting Sharon Moore out for 3 games over the next 2 seasons, but hand-selected by Michigan in terms of what games he's suspended for, and $30 million that the program is going to be fined as a result. $20 to $30 million. The number is not exactly concrete yet, but in definitely the tens of millions for Michigan in their use of the sign stealing with Connor Stallions and Jim Harbaugh and Sharon Moore all those years ago. So now it's over. It's done with. NCAA came out with it. 888-760-3776. How would you have punished Michigan instead? Do they deserve a postseason ban? Would you have vacated wins, vacated the title? Would you have suspended Sharon Moore for the full season? What would you have done? Let us know. 888-760-3776. We go to New Jersey, Kelowna, New Jersey. We haven't heard from you in a while, Kelowna. What's going on?
Hey, Colin. Hey, Mike. How you guys doing? On the Michigan thing, I agree with you and the punishment, for the coach and all that. But, I'm thinking back to 2010 when the NCAA, punished USC for the Reggie Bush scandal, and they vacated the title, wins, and postseason ban for 2 years and all that. Yes, you hurt USC, but you also hurt the Pac-12. And the Pac-12 lost a lot of money in negotiating for the contracts for TV and all that, and eventually the Pac-12 is no more. So I'm thinking the reason why they don't do this is because obviously they're protecting the Big Ten, and they don't want the Big Ten to suffer as well, because USC was the big brand for Pac-12. Michigan and obviously Ohio State are the 2 big brands for the Big Ten. So I'm thinking they're protecting the Big Ten, because I think that pass should be vacated, and I think that 2-year ban or a year ban, is warranted for their cheating scandal.
Wow, good call, Cologne. And Cologne, excellent point on USC. The one thing about it is you're right. Think about the Big Ten for a second. The Big Ten doesn't want Michigan to vacate that title, because the Big Ten goes, whenever they renegotiate for getting TV contracts involved or getting schools to jump into the Big Ten, they want to say that we got 2 different schools that won national championships in the last 2 years. They don't want to say one school won it and it was just Ohio State. They want to say 2 different schools, and you never know with Penn State. Penn State got to the semifinal. They want to say that.
Yep.
If you vacate all of that, you almost lose a little bit of leverage in your resume for the entire conference.
I even think the NCAA didn't, what did you say the first thing that the new NCAA leader?
Charlie Baker, right when
he
was first brought in spring of 2023, but he was one who openly and blatantly said that they won that title fair and square.
So, and I think that the NCAA wants that parity. They wanted the Big Ten to have a national title, because let's be honest, the SEC dominated college football for the better half of almost 2 decades with Nick Saban.
There's a little bit of leverage for the Big Ten.
Agreed. So, listen, the championship thing wasn't the right move, all right? And he had a great point about USC, but that's when the NCAA was still an entity. That's when they were still an entity that people feared, and they necessarily put the fear of God in the universities that, hey, if you do something wrong, we are going to come down on it. Now, was it ridiculous? Was some of the stuff with the Reggie Bush stuff, the Terrell Pryor stuff? I can't remember the other stories, Kyle, but there are some other instances where...
The Notre Dame one, what was that, the 2012 season when they went undefeated and then lost to Alabama in the championship game?
Yeah.
When they went 12-0, they didn't win a title, but a couple years later they vacated those wins under Brian Kelly's coaching record because of a tutor, or it was an athletic trainer who tutored 5 or 6 players and did some academic assignments for them. They vacated 2 years of wins
ridiculous.
for them.
They
vacated 2 years of wins.
So I trust me, I know NIL is an issue. I know that NIL is running rampant, but at least it put the NCAA in check. But now, where you kind of need the NCAA to come in and act like the authority figure, act like the parent in the room, and all they did was be the glorified babysitter that was watching you at Jazzercise, a.k.a. Catherine in 1999. They used to watch the Little Rizzo boys. If you do something wrong, get a slap on the wrist, get put in the timeout. There is no Tony Rizzo back at home to discipline the kids, okay? There's none of that anymore. You can do whatever the hell you want. That's what I get from the NCAA. You could do whatever the hell you want because they're so damn afraid that one day you're going to pick up and leave. One day you're going to pick up and leave, and they're not going to have any. They're going to have any jobs, Kyle. They're not going to have any jobs at the Big Ten and the SEC when I get rid of the NCAA. They're not going to have any jobs. You think people are going to watch?
One thing, the Big Ten doesn't want this either. So that we could agree on. The Big Ten does not want this either. Because it's a leveraged marketing tool. It's a negotiation tool to have two different teams win national titles. They don't want that vacated. They don't. They don't want that, they're one of their big brands to lose a ton of recruiting dollars. You want these guys to transfer. Where do you think they're transferring? They're not transferring to Ohio State. They're transferring down south.
I'm not saying they would. No, okay, I'm not saying they would.
They're transferring. I know I'm not, but I'm just saying the Big Ten as a whole is losing a lot of talent if that were to happen. Michigan would have they just got the number one player in the country. You don't think the Big Ten likes that? The Big Ten loves that. They want these guys to come to Michigan. They don't want these guys to go to Alabama.
Well,
they don't want these guys to go all the way.
You trusted the wrong people.
Trusted the wrong people in terms of who?
They trusted the wrong people in the wrong school. Shouldn't have went there.
Okay.
Shouldn't have went there. They have no integrity.
No integrity.
No integrity. You clearly saw that the last 3.5 years of the crap that went on there. And I hope I hope Michigan continues on the spiral. I hope they lose 6 games this year. I hope they lose 6. I'm telling you, karma's coming for them. Maybe it already came for them last year, losing 5 games. But something's coming. You can't just get away with this. You can't.
A Michigan fan signs up for that season last year, too. Beating Alabama, beating Ohio State.
Not saying they don't. But 5 losses is pretty crazy. Losing to Illinois and losing to some of the teams that they lost to last year. It's not like it was the Illinois team this year that I think is.
No, but they sign up for that if they got a championship out of it.
Fine. But what I'm saying is I'm a big believer, and maybe I'm living in La La Land. I'm a big believer in karma and justice happening and things. They're not going to get away with this. They're not going to get – something's going to happen to that team this year. They're going to either be very bad or they're going to lose some games or not. Or maybe Ohio State wins by 40 in Michigan. Maybe I'm going to talk that into existence.
That's all you want.
Dude.
That's all you want.
To win by 40 in that stadium. Did I tell you my dad and I think we're going to go?
Oh, you're going to go to the game?
We're going to go. So 7-0. The Rizzos are 7-0 in the Big House.
You should get a pulse of the public there when you're on site at the Big House.
No, thank you. I'm going to
if they think that was a fair punishment.
I'm going to be quiet and as I am in opposing stadiums. I'm not that fan, Kyle. I stay quiet unless my team scores. I'll get up. I'll cheer. I'll let out. Hell yeah! Other than that, you won't catch me. I'm too old to be battling the Michigan fan at Ann Arbor. Okay, that's a recipe for disaster.
888-760-3776. How would you have punished Michigan in the sign-stealing scandal? Cologne, a good point. They vacated it heavy before with USC. They've done it before with other conferences, and it ends up hurting the conference because they got to negotiate for TV contracts. The conferences are building a resume just as much as the teams are.
Definitely.
The conferences care about how many championships are won. They care about how many great players go to the conferences. The Big Ten wants Michigan to be good, to have that pedigree. They don't want Michigan to vacate 2 very good seasons potentially, or to vacate the title, punish them for the title, postseason ban, because what that does is one of their head horses loses a lot of its gasoline. And from that perspective, a lot of those players are not going to pack their bags and all go to Ohio State. They're going to pack their bags, and they're likely going to go south to the Southeastern Conference. That's where they get hurt. So that's why I understand from a perspective of the Big Ten not wanting Michigan to get the book thrown of them just as much as the Michigan fan doesn't want that as well.
Agreed. And as a Big Ten honk, I like the fact that you had 2 Big Ten teams win back-to-back
Looks good
titles.
for the conference. That's
I do.
It looks good.
That's the silver lining in all of this, is that the conference has won 2 in a row, and now it's the SEC in shambles. Did you watch that documentary yet on Netflix, the SEC documentary?
I watched 2 episodes, yeah.
I believe they if I remember correctly, they started it off by saying the best football conference in college football, and then it rolled right into Ohio State and Michigan winning the last 2 national championships. Fair play to the SEC, man. Fair play to him.
I like the coach. Weirdly enough, Brian Kelly's got a spotty history, but I thought he came off pretty well in that documentary.
I feel bad for him. If anything, I feel bad for him.
He came off pretty well there. He had a good line. He goes, my mortgage is relying on these kids. Yeah, that's it.
I feel bad for him because he took a chance. There's a big difference between coaching at Notre Dame and coaching at Louisiana State University. It's a big difference. A different player, different recruits, different entity. Where I don't blame it is that he's had all the resources and money.
The academic standards doesn't matter at
That's what I
Louisiana
mean.
State as it did at Notre Dame, so he doesn't have to vacate wins in that regard.
There you go.
Which is what happened in the 2012-2013 season at Notre Dame, which is only about 10 years ago when they enforced that punishment. So we're talking about 10 years ago, the NCAA has free-falled in terms of their power and their willingness to punish teams.
Arguably, the last 3 years have come down to LSU losing that first game of the year, too. And that's where I feel bad for Kelly.
Well, that's why I give them
credit
because
I
they
feel
scheduled
bad
the game.
for him.
They scheduled the game.
And that's why I feel bad for Kelly.
I mean, if there's a team to understand of why do we schedule these games if we're just going to get burned by it every year, look no further than LSU.
Right.
They're thinking Indiana's like, why would I schedule tough games? LSU gets burned by it every year. They're not in the playoff.
That's the conversation with now. Texas doesn't have the schedule of Florida, Oklahoma, but
this has
still,
been in the works for a while. But yeah,
if Texas, my mouth to God's ear, if Texas does lose, if they do lose to the Buckeyes, Kyle, it makes it. Let's just put it this way: the Buckeyes can afford that loss, in my opinion, more than Texas. Does Ohio State? Do they have to go to Michigan? Yes. Do they have Penn State? Yes. Do they have to go to Washington, which I think is a tricky game? Yes.
The way you view it is the
at
committee,
Illinois,
is the committee going to give them benefit of the doubt because they scheduled a tough game?
Right.
That's where you look.
And they do. They do. If you dominate your conference,
and you can't say about the Alabama South Carolina thing last year because those teams lost to teams they shouldn't have lost to.
My evidence too is that they would give the Big Ten the benefit of the doubt if they lose that early game. I know it wasn't necessarily week one. Remember, the Buckeyes lost to Oregon, and then they stubbed their toe against Michigan late in the year. They had 2 losses, but they beat Indiana, they beat Penn State, and they beat some of the meat on that schedule, and they were still able to get in because they only had 2 losses. Remember, the conversation with the College Football Playoff last year was that teams like South Carolina and Alabama still deserved it over a 2-loss team like Ohio State in the Big Ten. You're Indiana, Kyle, last year that you were banging the drum for to get into the playoff.
It was SMU was the team. It was SMU.
SMU as well. SMU as well.
It was SMU.
And that's what you got to look at. That's where you, and we've talked about it on the show before. That's where you got to trust the committee to make the right decisions. Do I think SMU and Indiana belong? No. But was it the right decision? Probably.
Because it wasn't about a strength of schedule then.
Probably.
It wasn't. They lost games they shouldn't have lost.
Was Indiana better than maybe a South Carolina? Probably not. But they won the games that were on their schedule and had a better record, and they still played in the Big Ten.
But now this is where you get tricky because why schedule tough games if we're going to get burned for it? But you haven't seen that last year. You haven't seen that then.
That's why you put 4 teams in from the SEC and the Big Ten.
That's why, you stay far. That's exactly why you stay far away from the AQs. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Damian Perez. Taking a time out here. The AP released their all-college football Hall of Fame team. This is all time we're talking about. An entire, basically, AP All-Pro for college football players. We'll dive into that, do a little bit more, do a little 5 at 5 live at Atlantic Community High, which has Atlantic Palm Beach Central tonight, 6:30 for ESPN West Palm High School game day. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, taking the time out here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
The season is kicking off. Keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the field, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8-star rating, EDS is trusted as the MVP, and it has been since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Kick off your game day comfort and don't sweat the small stuff.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
It's anything but the dog days of summer at DQ Grill and Chill. All August long, grab a 4-piece chicken strip basket, crispy, golden, and delicious for just $7.49. And cool off with our blizzard of the month, Reese's Caramel Craze, packed with peanut butter cups, salted caramel truffles, and chocolate cone dip. And the classic Superman Blizzard is sticking around for one last month. Come chill with us at DQ Grill and Chill. 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
This is ESPN 106.3, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Find official rules for all your favorite ESPN West Palm contests by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3, the ESPN app, and streaming on your smart speaker.
Canes fans, mark your calendars. The season kicks off Sunday, August 31st at 7:30 p.m. with a primetime showdown against Notre Dame at Hard Rock Stadium, followed by 3 September home games against Bethune-Cookman, University of South Florida, and the Florida Gators. Tickets are moving fast. Don't wait. Grab your seats now at MiamiHurricanes.com/football tickets. That's MiamiHurricanes.com/football tickets. Get yours before they're gone.
Dinner's ready. All right, is everyone here? Where's Michael? Food's getting cold.
Every day, 9 people on our Florida roadways won't make it home. Don't let it be you or someone you love.
Michael, is that you? Officer?
Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share.
Michael never made it home. Buckle up. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
In the next edition of What's Going On August 15th, 2025, the AP released their all-time All-Americans on ESPN.com. You could see it. And Tim Tebow is the highlight, weirdly enough, edged out Vince Young to be that starting quarterback. This is an all-time team we're talking about. So think an all-pro, but basically for college football players, any era, all teams, college football. And just to go through the list really quickly with Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Damian Perez, it's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, live from Atlantic High School in Del Rey. But just the first-team offense for a second. Tim Tebow at Florida, 2007 over Vince Young. I can't say I have a major problem with this because I don't.
No, Tebow's I arguably think Tebow's the greatest college football player ever.
And the thing, they had two amazing seasons. He was a Heisman winner. I mean, those teams were they're legendary.
He's my GOAT, I think, of college football.
So I can't necessarily knock that. Running back, you can't argue Barry Sanders and Herschel Walker. Walker, Barry Sanders.
You can.
Who?
Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner.
I mean, but over Herschel Walker, Barry Sanders has every record in the books. You're not touching him.
Won't argue that.
And Herschel Walker, you're putting him over Herschel Walker.
I'm 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, multiple national championships at some of the best teams ever at the time.
You could say the same thing about Herschel Walker. Also won a Heisman. Also won a championship. Two championships, I believe.
I probably would put Archie over him, but it's like, I guess that's the theme of the show, Buckeye Honk Riz. But I think the two Heismans should mean something. He's still the only player to do it.
Herschel Walker, though, I mean that's one of the goats of college football as well. I understand, but I mean a couple Ohio State representation all over the list with Orlando Pace, and then but this is a lot of older players. Chuck Bednarik, this is Jim Parker, this is John Hanna from basically the 40s through the 90s on the offensive line.
How about the Florida State stand-up Sebastian Janikowski, baby?
Yeah, right. That's a tough one.
That's a great one, dude.
All right, fine.
That's a great one.
No, nobody's doubting that. How about Brock Bowers at tight end? I mean, of the recent players, he's the most notable one that we've actually seen recently. Brock Bowers is obviously the only person who's ever won the Mackey Award multiple times. He's a 3-time All-Consensus All-American. He's got all the records at Georgia for a tight end. I don't have a knock on this. I don't have a tight end that really screams to mind that I've watched with my own two minds.
I always said he was like more of a receiver half the time, Brock Bowers, man. I know he proved me wrong in the NFL. I didn't necessarily think he was big enough and fast. I didn't think he was big enough to play tight end.
He was an elite player immediately, too.
And like completely made me eat my words. One of the frozen takes that I had, but I thought he was too slow to play receiver, too small to play tight end. How'd that work out? He belongs on the list. He was an unreal college player.
He's the only player to win the Mackey Award twice. So that's the nation's top tight end in college football. I don't necessarily have a knock for that. The wide receivers, Randy Moss and Larry Fitzgerald.
Go look up some Randy Moss.
I agree.
You could,
I mean, from a college perspective, though, do you flirt with Devonta Smith there?
Maybe.
Heisman winner. Do you flirt with that? We remember how dominant he was, right?
Yeah.
Like that guy took games over.
You probably do. That I think that's a lot of recency bias, dude. If you go back and watch,
I agree. But
Chad
one thing about
Pennington and Randy Moss.
One thing about this list is there's no recency bias at all.
No, not a lot. And Larry Fitzgerald, though, the first NCAA game ever that I played in like 2003, he was on the cover. I remember always using him in the game, but like. Fitzy and Moss, I'm fine with that. I know there have been great receivers.
There's
I'm completely fine with those
5 total players that have played at past 2000. 5 total.
Yeah.
Out of the entire first-team offense and defense. To close it out, the ends, Hugh Green out of Pitt, and then Randy White, Maryland, in the 70s and 80s. Ndamukong Suh out of Nebraska was the defensive tackle. So there's one there. Bronco Nagurski out of Minnesota in 1929 when Minnesota won about 5 championships in a row.
The award's named after him.
Yeah, right.
So.
1929. I know that Minnesota dominated the awards race alongside Michigan in that era. Linebackers: Dick Butkus, Derek Thomas, Chris Spielman.
Spielman,
yeah.
Yep.
You can't knock Derek Thomas especially as well.
Mm-hmm.
Corners: who would have guessed? Deion Sanders and Charles Woodson.
Dude, Brown, baby.
I think that's the most
Brown,
obvious
baby.
one of all of them.
That's
the most obvious one of all.
And Woodson, Woodson's unreal. Woodson's unreal. Woodson's the best corner in the history of the sport. I don't even think
I think you're talking about a Heisman winner too.
Not even. It's as much as I can't stand that school. That guy is arguably the best player to ever play the sport.
You're talking about Deion Sanders
Arguably.
and Charles. That's easy. That's the easiest one of the whole one.
Agreed.
Easiest one of the whole one. You had Ed Reed. This might be actually the easiest one. Ronnie Lott and Ed Reed at safety
Dude.
on the defense. 2 of the greatest safeties of all time and 2 of the greatest college safeties of all time. The secondary is pretty easy. If you're going to put together an all-time list, because a lot of the funny thing enough is all these players converted to the NFL as well. A lot of these players were good to great pros. A lot of these actually were just great.
Can I joke around about something, but I completely agree with it. Tory Taylor, do you remember him?
I sure do.
Oh, my God. So
I've never seen a punter dominate a game.
Dude,
Tory Taylor is a punter.
So good.
Iowa punter, 2023.
Oh, my God.
Wisconsin played Iowa in about a 14-9 game. And I watched every snap of that because I was doing pregame and postgame with ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. So I watched that game at Monk's in Middleton, Wisconsin, with Brad Nortman, who is a punter for Wisconsin when they beat Iowa in that famous game and Brad Nortman, who, by the way, had a 6-year NFL career, played in the Jags team that went to the title game.
Oh, wow.
And also played in the Super Bowl team, the Carolina Panthers, with Cam Newton.
So he
had a good career.
Punt. He can punt.
And he's a punter.
Yeah, he can punt.
It was just me and Brad. It was just me and Brad. So I have a trained eye right next to me watching Tory Taylor.
Yeah.
And Brad Nortman, of all people, was like, this guy's one of the best punters I've ever watched in my entire life.
So, Kyle, my story on it, we had a lot of Iowa fans, believe it or not, in Peoria. It's kind of a lot of Hawkeye, a lot of people from Peoria that went to Iowa. So Jim joked around. The Big Ten Championship came around. My former host, Jimmy Madsen, he joked around with the Iowa fans that texted in and said they were going. He goes, all right, you're going to cheer twice during the game. You're going to cheer when they run out onto the field, and you're going to root for that damn punter when he comes out. And those are the only 2 times you're going to be cheering the entire game. And he wasn't wrong. Michigan dominated the game. But, wow, what a weapon.
Never in my life
what a
have I
weapon.
seen a punter dominate a game like Tory Taylor.
By the way, that game that you said you watched, was that during was that like closer to the holidays? I swear,
yes, it was in November.
My dad and I.
It was the second weekend
Thanksgiving. We were at Grandma.
It wasn't Thanksgiving weekend because they played Minnesota that weekend, but it was like November 11th or something like that.
Regardless, I was watching. My dad and I were channel surfing at my grandma Carol's house. We turned that game on for like 5 minutes. My dad goes, "Mike, falling asleep," and we both laughed and we turned it off.
And because it was the worst offensive output game I've ever watched in my entire life. But every time Iowa brought that damn punter out in the field, Tory Taylor, he completely flipped the field. He buried them within the 10 like 5 times in one game. He was unbelievable.
Is that not an Iowa game, 14-9? It
was something like that.
Is that not a?
It was something.
Is that not a recipe?
I'd have to double check, but it was
for
ridiculous.
The Hawks. Just muck it up. and a bunch of.
I remember I did post game, and I led the show with "That's the best punter I've ever watched in my entire life."
There's nothing else to lead the show with.
That is the best punter, and Wisconsin lost too. It was the best best punting performance I've ever watched in my entire life. In my entire life. And Brad Norman, who had a 6-year NFL career as a professional punter in the National Football League, played for some very good teams, and I remember he was a good Jacksonville punter as well. Was sitting there next to me and goes, "This kid is unbelievable.
Yep.
This kid, I've never seen punting like this." That might be the most deserving player on that list.
I had to say something.
That might be the most deserving player on that list.
I had to say something because as a Big Ten snob that I am,
Johnny Hecker was a great punter.
No words,
but nothing compared to that Tory Taylor did when he was at Iowa.
I have no words. That guy was
and
so good.
going to play punter at Iowa is like going to play receiver at Ohio State.
Correct.
Because you know you're going to get a lot of reps. You know you're going to get a ton of big-time situations to get out of that field and flip it about 80 yards.
Yes.
You know you're going to have an opportunity to let that leg rip.
There's no better place to play that position than that school.
No better place. It's like going to Ohio State to play receiver.
Correct.
That's it. It's like going to Iowa to get tight ends, a couple defensive linemen and linebackers, and punters.
Yep. It's like playing for Lincoln Riley at the quarterback
That's
position.
it. You're going to get a Heisman. You're going to get that Heisman.
And you're going to be a top 5 pick.
The All-Americans, the all-time teams, Brock Bowers and Tory Taylor. The two recent ones, the most recent outside of that, are Tim Tebow and Dominican Suh and Larry Fitzgerald, who make up the completion of the list. The one thing I would say is, do you consider Devontae Smith at receiver? Well, I know Randy Moss. That's probably the one you have to put on. Do you consider him over Larry Fitzgerald? It's a tricky spot there because Devontae Smith, of course, a prolific collegiate player and also a big game player too, a game winner in a national championship game. This is an important player in the history of college football. Keep that in mind. But outside of that, if you want to put Archie Griffin and everything over the Herschel Walkers of the world, that makes sense.
And listen, I swear this isn't the bias bleeding over. I just think the 2-time Heisman thing should mean something. That's it.
Barry Sanders, you're not touching. He's got every record in the book.
No, I'm not. And I'm not saying I would. I'm not saying I would. I got a problem with Herschel being over Archie.
Herschel, one of the great college players of all time. I understand both sides. Tory Taylor, though, that's the one that was probably got every vote in the book from those AP writers. Every vote. You guys remember any punters? I remember Tory Taylor. He killed us. You talk about him like you talk about the boogeyman. He killed us.
How about this? Did you look at the second-team punter? It's Reggie Roby, Iowa, 1981.
There you go.
They are thoroughbreds at that position.
Iowa's such a strange team because they have basically 3 positions completely figured out. Completely figured it out. They know how to develop, I would say, defensive.
Tight
ends. Then like the linebacker, edge rusher, a couple corners here and there, a couple linemen here and there. And then punters.
I would die on the hill of punter and tight end. Those are their 2 positions.
They can't get it wrong.
There's never a receiver. There's never an Iowa receiver. So you know the checkdown's wide open to the tight end.
The quarterback is always the worst player you've ever watched play football.
They are the discount. The discount store for quarterback. What, Cade McNamara tried to revive his career
Deacon
there?
Hill, who was a 260-pound quarterback.
He
was a Wisconsin guy. And he went over to Iowa, and he was rough.
That was a waste of time.
He was a rough player.
Talk about the positions they can't figure out. It's the quarterback and it's the receiver.
I'm a Ferentz guy, to be honest with you.
All he does is win. Iowa's that program, Kyle.
That team deserves an 11-win season.
But here's the thing. They are completely fine with losing 3-4 games and going to a bowl game.
They are so tone
They beat their rivals every year.
They
beat Wisconsin and Illinois like a drum.
Very hard. They travel well. They got that great defense always. It's laughable how tone deaf they are in regards to their offense.
Can I be honest, though? They're bad for the Big Ten. Because they're going to lose 3 to 4 games. They're never going to be.
They're always good. Nobody wants to schedule Iowa because the Arkansas of the world have no interest in scheduling Iowa because they know that it's the biggest trap game. Ohio State doesn't necessarily sweat Iowa, and they play them well.
I'll give them this, though. Urban always lost to a stinker. He'd beat Michigan every year, but he always lost to a stinker. Dude, the Buckeyes lost in the rain. I was on the board for that game. Oh my God, it was like 50. It was like 50-something to 20. Like Urban would lose by 30 points to teams that they. But
that Purdue game, I remember.
The Rondale Moore. Yep. That was his come-out game. But go back and look at the game they lost against Iowa. Wow, dude. Wow. They get it. They get us once every 10 years.
That's a humbling game. It's a humbling game for a college program when Iowa finally gets you.
That game at night is very hard too.
Yeah,
when they're waving,
great home field.
When they're waving to the
and I've heard from multiple
hospital.
Big Ten players, former Big Ten players, that Iowa is one of the toughest places to play in because the sidelines are really small.
But it's like
the sidelines are right. The fans are right on top.
That's not. Let me rephrase what I said about them in the Big Ten. That's not the team you want to showcase from your conference.
No,
I don't think that's the team.
But they're great meat and potatoes. They're great meat and potatoes.
Anytime they play an SEC team, it's a
They're great meat and potatoes.
The SEC beats them by like 4 touchdowns.
They're not
every
the
time
dessert.
they play.
They're not the dessert, but they fill the stomach. They satiate you. All right, that's enough. They can keep you alive.
The teams in the Big Ten, I think Illinois is going to overtake Iowa this year in the Big Ten. I know that's everyone's darling this year.
Iowa does it every year. I'm never going to doubt Iowa. They need an 11-win year. They're never going to do it. But they had it that couple years ago when they had that 10-win season. That team needs a playoff berth one of these years.
No, God,
because
no.
Whoever gets into that playoff,
I do not.
Whoever gets into that playoff is going to be pissed that they have to play Iowa. You know that's true.
Dude, I do not need to see that.
You
team
give
in the
Iowa
college football
3
playoff.
weeks to prepare for you. They're gonna shut you down.
My buddies and I have a saying: Kirk Ferentz is always grazing on something. He's always chewing on something. Every time it pans
and they got
over
rid
him
of his
on the
son,
side.
who's the worst offensive
Oh my
coordinator
God! Ever.
Brian Ferentz.
Ever. They had to. They literally gave him a coloring book on the sideline.
I saw a video on social media, and all the Iowa fans were going crazy. It was a quarterback rolling to his right and throwing about a 12 to 11 yard out route, and everybody's like, "Uh-oh, watch out."
But like
Iowa needs that. Iowa needs that.
They gave that guy training wheels to the point of they would literally get, and obviously I'm over exaggerating, but they would literally just give him a coloring book at the end of the year and go, "This is what you're doing during the game. You're technically the offensive coordinator, but just stay over there and keep your hands to yourself."
There needs to be like a duo of brothers who are from somewhere in Iowa that just get trained, like the Boozer brothers who are going to Duke to play college basketball. They need something like that, a quarterback-receiver tandem that go, identical twins that go to Iowa and elevate them to stardom. That is what we need. That would be a story. You guys want Indiana to come out on the field? How about Iowa? Get Iowa on the taking the next step. Torrey Taylor. If they had Torrey Taylor on one of those all-time great Iowa teams, I'll
tell you what. Iowa.
That guy won them 3 games.
He did.
That guy
easily,
won
easily.
Games.
I mean, they went to the Big Ten championship.
That's how good.
And I know it was East versus West still, and the West was a disgrace.
Yeah, I know.
But
Purdue and Wisconsin was terrible.
Disgrace, but at the same time, Iowa cleaned up on the All-American list with the punters. 2 for 2. They went 2 for 2 on the list.
Nothing wrong with that. In the second round, the second team offense, Devontae Smith, Desmond Howard over in Michigan. And then offensively was Vince Young, Archie Griffin, Tony Dorsett. So nothing too surprising.
Now, I have a problem with the lid. My big problem, no Reggie Bush. Reggie, and listen.
Yeah, they kind of erased him from college football
history. They did, and
history.
it's still wrong. Him and Tim Tebow, and granted, Kyle, I didn't watch these guys in the 20s. I didn't even watch Archie. You know, I can only go off of film and what my grandfather and my dad told me about Archie Griffin, but Reggie Bush and Tim Tebow were the 2 most dominant college football players I've ever seen in my life. And that's like, I'm at the age, boys, of like, that are here on site at the beautiful Atlantic High School. 12 years old watching these guys. The prime of your, getting into a sport. And I got to watch those guys. I got to watch Vince Young and those guys. Like, Reggie Bush should be on that list. 600 yards of total offense in 1 game. 600 yards! It had never been done.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Damian Perez. We'll loop in Damian, do a little 5 at 5. On the flip side, we are live from Atlantic Community High School down in Delray. You got ESPN West Palm High School game day taking place tonight. Atlantic versus Palm Beach Central. That will be 6:30. Christian Cat will be on the call for that right here on ESPN 106.3. You got myself on the pregame and the postgame up to 11 p.m. So get your pillows ready because I'm going to lull you to sleep at the end of the night because it's going to be about 11 o'clock when we're closing out with all these coaches. Looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. Second hour of Russo Rizzo coming up. ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet, home of Inter Miami, Miami Heat, and the Miami Dolphins. Catch all the action and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. Wager terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMITTED.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
The annual Boca Raton Bowl ABC Supply Company Great Chefs Tailgate Showcase heats up on Wednesday, September 10th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Join me, Theo Dorsey, at Boca Raton Innovation Campus in Boca Raton as dozens of local chefs, breweries, and cocktail masters serve up their favorite tailgate classics. Tickets are on sale now. It includes all food samplings, beer, wine, cocktails, and soft drinks. Visit spiritofgivingnetwork.org/events to purchase your tickets today.
ESPN West Palm is on the move. Brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, the most trusted moving company in Florida. You're safe with Safebound.
You like smart? You like funny? You love football? Then you're going to love The Rich Eisen Show, coming to ESPN 1063 September 2nd. Catch it weekdays at noon.
Are you one of those people that just can't focus at home? The dog barks, the kids are screaming, and you're thinking, how am I going to get all of this work done? Working from home can be distracting, but Intelligent Office is here to help you focus. They offer quiet and affordable private office and meeting spaces in Palm Beach Gardens to help you get your work done. Call 561-472-8400 or visit intelligentoffice.com to reserve an office today.
Oh no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The quality of our choices affects the quality of our lives. So, when it comes to how you move, do you choose to see a doctor or go to the #1 orthopedic specialist in the world, backed by a team who custom tailor your treatment? Do you choose to live with limitations or live life to the fullest by going to the place that's #1 at getting people back to what they love? Choose better, move better. Locations in West Palm Beach and Wellington. Learn more at hss.edu/Florida.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
A resort destination beyond compare, yet conveniently close to home. The Breakers Palm Beach offers everything you desire with the service you deserve in a breathtaking oceanfront setting. Immerse yourself in unparalleled seaside glamour and enjoy all the Breakers has to offer as you create lasting memories with those who matter most. The best part, you don't have to travel far to feel worlds away. Visit thebreakers.com or call 1-800-BREAKERS today.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, every day feels like the weekend. Fresh, never frozen chicken wings tossed in over 30 bold flavors, paired with ice-cold beer and handcrafted cocktails, all in a laid-back, beachy atmosphere. And with every game on the big screens, it's the ultimate escape and your home for sports too. Great food, cold drinks, and all the games. That's Hurricane Grill and Wings. Escape the ordinary and find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
It's the summer clearance event at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach, and they need to sell 250 new Kias by month's end. Get up to $11,000 off MSRP. New Tellurides from $38,998, and lease the 2025 Kia K4 for just $199 a month with $34.99 due at signing. Plus, get 0% financing and up to $6,000 over KBB value for your trade. Open daily at 7:30 a.m. with no hidden fees and no surprises. Visit GreenwayKiaWestPalmBeach.com today.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Right now is the best time to upgrade because once these deals are gone, they're gone for good. Don't wait around and let someone else drive away in the Kia you've been dreaming about. Your new ride is waiting for you at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach.
With approval to KFA, stock number SG005991. MSRP $45,235. 10,000 miles per year, plus tax tag and $9.99 admin fee. Discount includes all Kia factory rebates to dealer. Negative equity refinanced. Offers don't combine. Expires 9/15/25.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Lays it up and in.
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Russo and Rizzo rolling on. We're live at Atlantic Community High School down in Delray Beach, Florida, where we got the ESPN West Palm High School game day kicking things off tonight with Atlantic and Palm Beach Central. That will be 6:30 kickoff. Christian Cat will be on the call for that. That will be directly after this program today. The game starts at 6:30. I will take you up to 6:30 and through the night in our post game as well. Speaking of sports, generally, not of the high school fashion, but of the collegiate and the professional fashion, go get started on Hard Rock Bet. Go down the ESPN Hard Rock Bet app today on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Hard Rock's the best because if you just deposit $5 into your account, that's $5, you get $150 in bonus bets courtesy of the app. That's 5 into 150 in bonus bets. All you got to do is deposit it on the app. If you download it today, you can check out the Discover page, see what other users are putting together, see what other users are putting together in terms of parlays, utilizing profit boosts, promo boosts. You got NFL around the corner. Hard Rock is going to have these promos available, and you can bet preseason, you can bet MLB, you can bet your futures, bet your college football. Bet all you like. It's on the Hard Rock Bet app today. Put together a parlay, get increased odds. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus. Physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned by gambling? Call 1-888-MINUTE. Damian Perez at the City Play Studios helping us out today. Damian Perez, how are you doing today? How is the air conditioning? Why don't you describe that? Why don't you describe that for me so I can loathe in your comfortability? Go ahead. What's up?
I'm doing well, guys. Happy Friday. I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. I'm nice, comfortable in this AC. I mean, I know you guys are probably melting out there at Atlantic, but I'm pretty comfortable over here back in studio.
Now, Dame, can we gang up on Colin for 2 seconds here?
Yeah, let's do it.
I need you to pick a Premier League team. I want you invested.
All right,
in
the season starts tomorrow.
It actually, the first game played, it was 4-2. Liverpool ended up winning.
I'll be an Arsenal fan.
Oh, God. All right.
Listen,
you picked the team. That's
not
fine.
what Mike wanted to hear.
I was hoping you. Whoa, Mike, you like this team on Manchester United.
Arsenal
hoping,
it is.
Okay. Arsenal.
What's their emblem? What's their mascot?
The Gunners.
The Gunners, baby.
The Gunners. You join Joe Rizzo, my brother, and Elias Bustamante.
Give me Joe Rizzo's number, and I'm going to make a chat. Myself, Elias Bustamante, who's on ESPN.
And you can't forget about my buddy Pat Darby, who is probably the bigger of the latter that was mentioned. But regardless, all right, so you're going with Arsenal. Damian
or I could do Leicester City. Leicester City.
You want to go? They're relegated. They're not in the Prem.
They're not in the Prem.
But you could. They'll probably be back up next year. Dane, what do you think? They got a good chance of winning the championship,
and that's the kind of team that I feel like Colin likes to root for.
They're up and down.
He's an A's fan in the MLB.
Yeah, but they're not going to have that. They're not going to have that run that they had. What was that? 6 years ago.
2016 with Jamie Party Vardy.
They're not doing that.
Harry Maguire and
that
company.
team lost. That team lost. Who needs to win?
Yeah.
Who is
Arsenal?
Desperately?
Arsenal's finished second place 3 years in a row.
and they had a great team 2 years ago.
Let's put it this way.
They blew it.
Correct. Mikel Arteta, one of the better managers in the Prem. They finished second 3 years in a row. The last time they did that, they won. So Is this going to be replication of the early 2000s with Arsene Wagner, their first head coach, who actually would go toe-to-toe
Arsenal it is.
with Sir Alex Ferguson, the greatest manager of all time?
All right, fellas, Arsenal, the Gunners. It's time for us to take the Premier League by storm. Be ready, because the Gunners are not slowing down for anybody. I unfortunately cannot watch their season premiere tomorrow because I am going to be biking throughout the morning. But I will check the score when I am finished with my biking, quite literally. I am biking from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. So until that is over, then I can check the Arsenal score and
they
celebrate their success.
Well, good news is they play my team, Manchester United, on Sunday, so you'll be able to watch it.
What time?
11:30. You'll be able.
I'll be able to watch that at 11:30.
You'll be able to watch the Red Devils at 11:30.
I will not be able to watch it if it was in the morning, but I like that it's at 11:30 a.m. instead of like 7 a.m. But all right, let's appreciate it. There's my Premier League team. We have that all set. We are all raring to go. There. Premier League, where do you watch that?
It's Peacock and cable. USA.
Yeah, I knew that.
USA is the big matchup. The other matchups that you can find all on Peacock exclusively.
All right. Arsenal. I have a buddy who lives in Denver who's a big Arsenal fan, so I'll have him give me the lowdown on how this team works.
I'll give you the lowdown.
No, we don't need to do it now, but I'll get it, and I'll be the biggest Arsenal fan anybody's ever seen. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to my guys getting back. When's the last time they won?
Damien, 2004, the last time they won the
Wow,
Premier League.
it's been a long time.
Definitely around that era with
04,
Henry.
Arsene Wagner. Yeah, Henry. You gotta get familiar with Thierry Henry.
Who's Damien's team?
Liverpool. They just played. But if I'm being honest, he's a closet Liverpool fan. His team's Barcelona. His team is La Liga, Barcelona, but his Prem team is Liverpool.
Yeah, it's
right.
Liverpool.
So
It's
Damien,
been Liverpool though.
Do you approve of my Arsenal choosing?
I do. I think
Do
that's
you approve of my Arsenal choosing?
That's pretty on brand. I think another team that kind of fits your mold would be Tottenham. But I do approve of Arsenal. That's the better team for sure in between Arsenal and Tottenham.
Yeah, no, you're good on Arsenal. And honestly, Damien knows I can't stand Arsenal. They're probably like our fourth rival, being a United guy, but it's okay. I just wanted you. I'm thrilled that you picked the team and you're going to get invested. That's all I wanted from you.
Well, let's
That's
see
all
how
I
this
wanted
first
from you.
week goes, but we'll see. Arsenal it is, the Gunners. We got to do a little 5-5. We'll do it on the flip side, actually, because we're live at Atlantic Community High School in Delray. Stay tuned for that. Right after this, it's 5-5 coming right to you. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and if you love football, you're in the right place. Tonight, the 2025 season of High School Game Day is coming to your city. ESPN West Palm is on campus for Palm Beach Central at Atlantic, live from Delray Beach at 6 here on ESPN 106.3.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
ESPN West Palm is on the move. Brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, the most trusted moving company in Florida. You're safe with Safebound.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
In South Florida, when it's time to get back in the game, there's a name you need to know. HSS Florida. HSS ranked #1 in orthopedics for 15 years in a row by U.S. News and World Report. HSS brings world-class care to Palm Beach and Wellington. Whether it's a joint replacement, sports injury, or orthopedic trauma, HSS Florida treats athletes of all ages. Visit hss.edu/Florida to schedule your consultation today. HSS Florida, where champions and everyday people alike get the care they need to stay at the top of their game.
All right, football fans, we're almost there. Preseason's heating up, and so is everything else around here. I'm Colin Russo, and while we're getting ready for kickoff, let's make sure your AC unit is ready to handle the blitz from Florida's heat and hurricane season. With summer storms rolling in, do yourself a favor, flip the breaker, and shut off your AC during major storms to avoid power surge damage. And better yet, call Cassidy AC and ask about adding surge protection to your system before the storms even hit. And if your AC has been running like a little tired defense in the fourth quarter, time to upgrade. Cassidy's offering $500 off new installs, plus monthly payments starting at just $92 with special financing options available. They've been serving Palm Beach County since 1960, and their friendly, highly trained technicians can diagnose and fix systems of any brand or age. Want a maintenance game plan? Ask about the Cassidy Care Club. It gives you priority service, regular tune-ups, and discounts all season long. Truth is, 90% of breakdowns on units less than 10 years old could have been prevented with regular maintenance. Don't get caught with your AC on the sideline. Go to CassidyAC.com and lock in comfort before football season kicks off. Cassidy AC, keeping homes cool and comfortable just like a calm kicker in crunch time.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
High school football Friday, August 15, 2025. It's nice and cold in South Florida, about 100 degrees. Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo with you, with Damian Perez at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. You got Atlantic and Palm Beach Central, which will be kicking off at 6:30. On this grass field over at Atlantic down in Delray. Should be a good time. You can listen to Christian Cat on the call at 6:30. Then that will be directly after Russo and Rizzo. Let's bounce around a little bit. Myself, Damian Perez, and Mike Rizzo. Let's do a little 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas. No brakes.
And it's shaking Big Ten.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU Athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
Well, Mike Rizzo filling in for Christian Cat on the 5 at 5. We talked about it earlier in the show, for that matter. The University of Michigan, the team up north, getting a slap on the wrist. Granted, am I a little biased on it? Absolutely. But Michigan getting a slap on the wrist for the sign stealing scandal. Sharon Moore is only going to receive 1 additional game in 2026. He had a self-imposed suspension, 2 games this year. He's going to be missing the Central Michigan game and the Nebraska game.
Wow.
But Michigan, really the only thing happening, $30 million is probably what it's going to come out to. They're going to lose revenue from their playoff games, or rather bowl games, whatever they make in the postseason this year. They're not going to see that money. You could read the article. Pete Thamel did a great job, folks, on ESPN.com. But in a nutshell, probably only going to lose $30 million, and Sharon Moore only going to be suspended in 2026. Colin Russo, I ask you, what should have happened to the Wolverines in the sign-stealing scandal?
How I would have done it, I know Mike is got the Ohio State ties, so I understand why you're a little bit more upset about it comparatively to me. The way I view it is Michigan, the fact that they punished them and they fined them $30 million tells you that they were guilty, and they were guilty in a big way.
Right.
But this tells you that they didn't necessarily do anything in terms of getting guys missing games or missing future opportunities. It's because they were afraid of how it made the Big Ten look, how it made Michigan look on top of that. They didn't want the Big Ten to lose a title. The Big Ten probably didn't want Michigan to lose a title, so they didn't want any of that. They did not want Michigan to be held liable in the future, because then it hurts recruits coming into Michigan because they know they're one of the big spenders in the Big Ten, and that's in a conference where Penn State gets their guys, but they're not getting the top guys every single year.
No.
Michigan and Ohio State are, and it's those two teams, and then not really a bunch else. So they didn't want necessarily that to happen. So I understand from the perspective that they were looking to protect the Big Ten and Michigan's brand a little bit because it helps their pockets. Now, this looks bad because this also sets a bad precedent, as Mike alluded to, that schools can now realize, all right, well, the punishments are not going to be that bad. We could play along the lines, whether it's that bad, whether it's sign stealing or not.
Right.
They could play along the lines further because they realize, all right, just a cash suspension, we should try this.
Well, it's just like if, God forbid, something happens. If there's something where you break the rules on, they know that the NCAA has no power. They know the NCAA is not going to be able to necessarily do anything. Not going to be necessarily do anything from their end. Couple of things quickly. I don't think they should have barred or rather took away the national title. I think that's the wrong move. But I do think they should have been suspended for the postseason this year. Set the precedent that this stuff's not going to fly. Like the story that you actually read from Pete Thamel, they called themselves the KGB. Connor Stallions and those cheaters literally called themselves the KGB and called it dirty film. And it was also said in the article they had enough evidence to suspend them for the postseason this year, so why not do it? Because you're afraid. You're afraid Michigan and then the reaction they're going to have. You're afraid of what the Big Ten's reaction is going to be. The big thing out of this story is that the NCAA has no power, and they are truly a weak entity when it comes to college football.
Comparatively to 10 to 15 years ago when they probably overreacted on certain punishments, they've now flipped a complete 180, and now they're probably going a little too light on that. On top of that. So that was number one. I agree. Suspend Sharon Moore for one full season. That would have been my punishment. Do what they did and get Sharon Moore, the head coach who was a part of the problem when this first came about, suspend them for a year. Suspend him for a year. That's it.
And lastly, the three things that would have hurt the program. Take away the championship. We agree that's wrong. Suspend Sharon Moore for the full season. Eliminate them from playoff contention in postseason games. I think it should have been both on the latter. I at least would have taken the Sharon Moore. I at least would be happier with the Sharon Moore suspension.
Michigan would feel that, and not only that, Harbaugh would feel guilty about
it. Correct.
And that's how you make.
And by the way,
feel
don't worry. They banned the boogeyman Harbaugh 10 years. If anybody was worried, they banned Jim Harbaugh for 10 years.
Yeah.
And Connor Stallions, who's cheating his butt off coaching high school football. Let's do number two, Damian.
Number two.
All right, well, the Miami, now, Colin, you're my aficionado with the trades and all of this. The Heat traded Hayward Highsmith to get under the tax line to the New York Mets. Your thoughts on Hayward Highsmith heading to the Brooklyn Nets to get under the tax line?
Well, Hayward Highsmith is actually a good story for the Heat. They traded him for literally nothing. Second-round pick for the literally nothing.
Trade him to write it off the books from the sounds of it.
Literally nothing in return. Pat Riley said at his postseason presser that he wanted to become a under-taxed team, so to speak, which is now a big deal in the NBA because there's a lot of tax, punishments that you take if you spend too much money. The Heat don't want necessarily to operate in the red when they realize that the postseason aspirations are sort of in the gray. So because of that, they wanted to cut him off the books, save themselves a little bit of money. I guess this does that. It's kind of a closure to a pretty good story in Hayward Highsmith, a guy who was actually pretty compatible in a multitude of lineups, a D2 player, making his way up to the Miami Heat. So it's a good story, but this is all just about the Heat actively making the team worse in order to, and they haven't done that a ton. That we've sort of been waiting for them to make a move, but the Heat have not made a move that tells you we're trying to get worse to save money. They haven't done that once. This is the first time they've done that this offseason.
How many national TV games do they have? 5. Thank God it's only 5. Damian, let's move on to number 3.
Number 3.
The Milwaukee Brewers going for 13 in a row. What a story out of baseball. What a team. And with the players that they're doing it with, it's truly a small market-esque kind of run. We've seen it in the past, recently with the Guardians being able to go on big runs. Colin, let's take the run out of it for a second. And I know we've talked about it before. I ask you today, 5-5, Milwaukee Brewers, 13 in a row. Does this team, actually, no. How about this? Is this team going to win a playoff series? It's August. It's very early still. And I'm sorry to put you on
If they played today,
lasso of truth.
If they played today, they would. If they played today with how well they're playing, they absolutely would. I don't know if this team's going to be that good 2 months from now. As good, they're not going to. I have a hard time seeing them being as good as they are. But did you know that with the 12 games in a row, George Webb, which is a Milwaukee chain restaurant in the city, throughout the city of
burgers,
Milwaukee,
right?
Free burgers for the city.
Dude, that's
and the last time that happened, they gave out 187,000 burgers.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
But that's like, so I'm going to answer my own question quickly. I hope I'm wrong because I love the small market teams. Colin, you root for a small market team. I root for a small market team. I'm not that miserable baseball fan.
And this team is better than the normal small market team making a midseason run. Keep that in mind.
Fair enough. And I'm not that miserable. And I call this the miserable baseball fan that goes, oh, there's no Yankees and Dodgers, so I'm not going to watch. That's a miserable baseball fan. I want to see the Brewers win, and I want to see them go on a run. Colin, I don't think they are, though. I don't think they are going to win a playoff series. I don't think they're going to be able to beat a Padre or a Dodger or even a Cubby. I know the Cubbies are struggling right now. That's a team, Kyle, that's a team that Craig Counsell, former manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, they've played each other 100 times this year. They know that team.
That's the crash course I'd love to see.
I would too. I mean, sign me up. Sign me up. Pete Crow Armstrong, by the way, if you see
they could beat Chicago.
Bro, Pete Crow Armstrong is like 3 for 44
yeah, he's terrible.
in the month of August.
He's striking out left and right. Like, the thing about that series is Milwaukee can beat them. Milwaukee would struggle with the Dodgers of the world, with the Phillies of the world. They could beat Chicago and they could beat the Mets.
Now I know everything's kind of going wrong for the Cubbies, Kyle, but that's why we play the full 162. They can hit though. Cubbies can hit. They got that pop in the lineup.
You know,
they got
pitch.
pop.
Milwaukee can pitch. That's why it's a great series. As Milwaukee's got a little island of misfit toys going. But with Chicago going a little cold here, especially with their best player, Pete Crow Armstrong, that's a team you got to be a little nervous about because all that takes is a team getting cold and they're going to get killed.
Correct.
They would lose in 3 games.
Matt Shaw is the best hitter in that Cub lineup. Let's move on to number 4.
Number 4.
All right, well, Florida State in the news again, not for good reason. Colin, I don't know if I sent you this story on Instagram this morning. A player, getting his name, Conrad Hasse, had a physical altercation, starting safety. By the way, kid was going to be a starting safety, 4-star from the state of Florida, big-time recruit. You know, this was his chance to get into the starting lineup and make an impact. He started 3 games prior. He's a pretty good player. The point I'm trying to make is a pretty good player. Got in an altercation with an assistant coach and got dismissed from the team. Now, in my opinion, quickly, I don't think there's ever an excuse to put hands on one of your coaches. That's someone you respect and that's someone you listen to. But also I'm hearing that the coach didn't do the best job of getting away, from rather talking the player down. Yeah. He was an idiot too, all right? The player was an idiot. The coach was a moron as well. Colin, not the look I think Mike Norvell wants as we inch closer to the mighty Alabama Crimson
Tide. But they did a good job there.
They
did a good job there. We don't have space for that. If that's going to happen, all right, get out of here. So I understand.
Not a bad look for the coaching staff, though.
Coaching staff, yes, but players can't act like that. Get out. You can, and I understand players lose their cool in practice sometimes, but college is not like it's not like the college player does not have a lot of power here. It's the coach. You got to trust the coaching staff. You chose to go to the school.
Yep.
It's not like we signed you. It's not like we drafted you. We acquired you in a trade. You chose to come here. You chose to play for these coaches. You cannot lose your cool like that and make it a big deal. That would be my takeaway, is you got to be very careful with the level of how you lose your cool.
You got to take these lists you read with a grain of salt, right? Like who's on the hot seat? The one thing I'll say, every one of those ridiculous lists that I read, Mike Norvell was number 1 on every single one of them. That's why I'm overreacting about this situation.
He signed an extension 2 years ago. That's an expensive exit strategy, but I understand.
That's why I'm over.
This
is a big year for that guy this year, and I can't. In the business of getting rid of players, you got to get rid of them. Put hands on a coach, but not the look that you want. Let's go to number 5, Damian Perez.
Number 5.
All right, we are on site here at Atlantic University. We got Palm Beach Central,
Atlantic High School,
invading Atlantic High School tonight. Colin, Who are you going to have in the game of the week tonight?
I'm a
between
Kevin Thompson
Central
guy.
and Atlantic.
I'm a Kevin Thompson guy. We had Kevin Thompson live on site last week at the Top 63 Awards. Kevin Thompson is a good friend of show, good friend of program. So we were happy to talk to him. He's the head coach of Palm Beach Central. And he said a couple of things. Number one, he said the team is really locked in. He said the team, last year they struggled with sort of getting their ducks in a row consistently. And he acknowledged that. He said they had a couple tough losses because of that. And they got a tough early part of the schedule this year. So because of that, he said it's important for them to start out hot, and therefore I am Team Palm Beach Central tonight. It's a road game, road atmosphere, lot to gain, lot to lose for these two big teams. Give me Palm Beach Central, the Broncos tonight.
Better watch our back here because I'm going to go with Central too. I actually had the opportunity to deliver the 4 top 63 invites to the Central team. The player I think that is the best player on the field tonight is Antoine Sharp. Kid is an unbelievable athlete. He's a tackling machine. Look out for him maybe to get an interception too tonight. I like Palm Beach Central to beat Atlantic tonight. I'm trying to say that a little quiet here because we are on site at Atlantic right now.
I mean, we're 4 hours away from game time.
Listen, you got foot traffic here. Right?
Plenty. So, all right, we're both Team Palm Beach Central.
We're both Central. And to be honest, we've been counting down until NCAA. We've been counting down until, NFL. Well, high school's here, which means we're about a week away. We're a week away from week 0 tomorrow, and 2 weeks, darn near 2.5, 3 weeks away from NFL football. So it's truly a great time to be alive right now if you're a football fan here in South Florida.
Great time to be a big football fan. You got Palm Beach Central taking on Atlantic. We're at Atlantic High School in Delray. You can catch the full live stream on our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. You can catch the full show that I will host alongside Damian Perez on the postgame and the pregame 6 to 6:30, and then also from game finish to 11 p.m. So should be a lot of fun there. Should be a lot to follow, a lot to keep track of, and you can catch the live stream of the game. Watch the whole game over on our YouTube, which will be live with Christian Cat on the call. Christian Cat's not at the studio. He is preparing for the game tonight between Palm Beach Central and Atlantic. We got to make a couple picks. We'll get a little creative with how we handle our Blitz the Book on the flip side. Damian Perez, I want to loop you in really quick and get a picture, a prediction from you. Palm Beach Central and Atlantic tonight. Damian, who are you going to take? Are you taking the Palm Beach Central Broncos, or are you going to take Atlantic?
I'm going to go with you guys. I'm going to go the Palm Beach Central Broncos.
All right. We got wow.
Broncos clean sweep.
Yeah, I like it, Damian. All right, so we got 3 for 3 on Palm Beach Central tonight. Got a lot riding on Coach Kevin Thompson. Don't let me down, Coach Thompson. You will be my first text if you guys win to get you on the post-game show. So looking forward to that. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Damian Perez. We'll take a time out here. We'll do a little Blitz the Book as we close out the program here on a Friday edition, August the 15th, 2025. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2025 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2025 Defender 110 P300S for just $889 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Damian Perez. We're live at the not the City Play Studios, but at Atlantic Community High School down in Delray. We got Atlantic Palm Beach Central tonight, where we'll have a multitude of coach interviews coming up after the game as well. You can catch all those interviews, catch the full catalog of what we've compiled over the offseason and what we compiled through the season over on our podcast section, ESPN West Palm High School Game Day on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, check out Russo and Rizzo. You missed any of the show today, want to listen back, go check it out. Look up Russo and Rizzo on all those great places. You can catch us in full there. No commercials, a lot of fun. And also, you can watch us back on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm, where we stream live. You can see our pretty faces. It's hot. It's
not so pretty right now because I'm literally sweating through my shirt, but I promise I look better when we're in studio.
There you go. So it's one of those outdoor days in South Florida. Anybody in this area knows what we're talking about. But let's make a couple picks against the spread. Let's have some fun with this. Let's do a little Blitz the Buck presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Send some heat. Pin your ears back. It's time to Blitz the Book. Presented by Hard Rock Bet.
All right, Mike, I want to take a couple. We'll take a couple baseball, but on top of that, I'd like to take a couple futures, not win totals in the NFL. We'll save that for a couple weeks from now. But let's take a couple interesting ones that I think either we could do to make the playoffs or we could do the individual awards. What would you like to do?
Let's do individual.
You want to do individuals?
Yeah, let's do some individual.
So let's do awards. You want to take a flyer on the MVP. Lamar Jackson is the betting favorite, plus 450.
No. Do you want to know where I want to go? What's Joe Burrow? He's the hot ticket in Vegas right now.
Plus 575.
He's the hot ticket in Vegas. I think we sprinkle Joe Burrow in there.
You want to? Hold on. How about Justin Herbert plus 2,000?
No, he ain't winning the MVP.
What about C.J. Stroud plus 2,250?
He's my Buckeye guy. I can't say no to a Buckeye.
I mean, I'm just talking about the value, plus 2,250.
Dude, plus 575, Colin. It's not like,
Yeah, I know, but
it's plus 100, brother.
This is a preseason award bet.
It's not like it's plus 100, brother. I'm fine with CJ. I'd go Burrow or CJ.
I just want to take a flyer.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
But listen, with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet, I read Joe Burrow is the big ticket.
I don't like doing that. I don't like going the trendy one. Let's go away from that. Let's go CJ. And I can't believe I'm doing that. I'm a Jags fan, but CJ Stroud, I feel like just in terms of the value, plus 2,250 there. I like that. You bet $1, you get $23.
Might as well sprinkle a little bit on it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. So CJ Stroud to win the MVP.
All right. If I could look at the awards, because I'm going to pivot to baseball and do something that's on theme for our show. Let's go with Milwaukee to eat more burgers, minus 135. You got to throw that in the mix.
Absolutely. They had a day off yesterday. Hopefully they kept that stove hot. But they got the Reds tonight. I like that. Let's go with Milwaukee.
And I will say the Reds, half a game out of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's
believe it or not, the New York Mets.
on Apple TV tonight.
It's going to be a great game. The New York Mets have just been absolutely terrible as of late. So big game. Give me the Brewers minus 135. Milwaukee going to be eating some burgers.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Defensive Player of the Year. Here are the odds. Aiden Hutchinson's plus 650. Micah Parsons is plus 700. Myles Garrett is plus 850. TJ Watt is plus 1,000. And then a couple other ones if you want to really get into the thick of it, or unless you like somebody there.
Do you believe in theme, magic, and mojo?
What is the theme?
Myles Garrett is plus 850.
How is this theme,
Time out.
other than you being a Browns fan?
850 is the old man station. That's our Cleveland station. 850 ESPN Cleveland. You got to put money on that. You have to put money on that.
That's not a theme.
Yes, it is. 850.
That's not a theme.
It's my dad's friggin' dial name. You got to put money on it.
I don't like that, but we can do it.
Yeah, man.
850. You're just looking for a reason.
850. You get our sister station up north, man. You got to do it. You're obligated to do it.
All right, fine. Plus 850. Myles Garrett to win defensive player of the year. I heard something about the joint practice 2 days ago against the Eagles. I know Lane Johnson didn't play, but I heard that Myles Garrett was basically getting a sack every single time they ran it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's out of this world, Colin.
He basically had to allow Jalen Hurts to run the offense because of how disruptive he was on their joint practice.
Dude.
All right, fine. We'll take Myles Garrett.
Yeah, man. Come on, baby. 850.
I don't like Offensive Player of the Year because I think that's just sort of the runner-up to MVP.
Fair.
And but Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's stay offensive for a second. You know what I like here? You want to talk about getting value out of it?
What, taking Travis Hunter for both?
I was going to say Travion Henderson.
Oh, God.
Plus 1,600. Hold on.
You don't have to tell me
I don't
twice.
like doing 2 Buckeyes.
You don't have to tell
player.
the boom, baby. Trevion Henderson.
2 Buckeyes
the
and a
fire and ice.
I wanna
Henderson and Judkins.
I'd like to change my answer.
Okay, that's fine. You can change your answer.
Actually, no, I do like Travion Henderson.
Yeah, you
though.
do, mate. He's in a Mike Vrabel system that runs the football. They're watching his carries in the preseason, which I like. His
Which
first,
means, he's going to play. He's
his
going to play a lot.
College first touch was a 100-yard putt.
Yeah, he's
going to
be a beast.
I like
Travion Henderson plus 1,600 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Michigan.
Now, Defensive Rookie of the Year, unfortunately, I don't necessarily, unless you want to take Travis Hunter at plus 1,100.
Give me my other options.
Abdul Carter's plus 250 on the Giants. Jalen Walker.
God, hang on, time out. Plus 250.
I think
Are they going to hand the guy the award?
I think he's going to get
Is he going to hand the guy the award?
I think he's going to have 8 to 10 sacks.
Well,
but I don't like to. He's going to have a big year.
That's a big statement.
That defensive line is unbelievable. That defensive line is
So
unbelievable.
you think his first season's
he might have 8 sacks.
Will Anderson-esque?
Yeah,
Will
he
Anderson-esque?
might have 8 sacks.
That's what
I think
Anderson
Abdul
did.
Carter's going to be a big factor.
Okay.
Micah Parsons is the same thing. I think he's going to be a big factor early.
What else is there after
Mason
him?
Graham is plus 1,300. We're staying far away from that. Mike Green on the Baltimore Ravens is plus 1,300. You got a bunch of, edge rushers who could.
Do you want Carter? I'll give you, then take Carter. Plus 250.
I don't like that. That's not good odds. I would rather take Travis Hunter
it's
plus
plus
1,100.
Colin, anything, in my opinion, anything plus odds is
This is a
it's extra money.
This is a future.
Okay, all right.
Travis Hunter is plus 1,100.
Fine.
I think
that's your
worth,
guy. That's your guy.
I think that's worth the flyer.
That's your guy, too.
Why?
So let's do it.
Because number one, Jacksonville's corners are awful. That's gonna become apparent pretty quickly. So he's not going to be the second string for very long. And number two, I think if he even gets 3 interceptions this year, which is asking a lot, but if he gets 2-3 interceptions this year, I think he's going to run away with that award.
Then let's do it.
Plus 1,100 there. All right, I like that. Those
Dude,
are all.
Abdul, can I go back to plus 250? Are they giving the guy? Is it a formality? Does he even have to play games? Colin,
he's on a great defensive line.
Hang on,
not going to be game planned.
Plus 250. Does he even have to play the games to get the award?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
God, dude.
I don't disagree.
At least it'd be at least plus 400.
But that would be my pick. I think that guy's gonna have a big. That defensive line might have 4 guys with 8+ sacks. That's how dangerous.
Any worry about that foot injury that he had at Penn State?
No.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
He's not going to be game planned.
Okay.
All right, so we took Milwaukee to win on top of that with against Cincinnati tonight. Some other games that are on the docket. We got Seattle and the Mets in New York. We got Boston playing the Miami Marlins, who haven't played particularly well recently. You got Atlanta, Cleveland, Baltimore, Houston. Detroit is playing Minnesota. New York Yankees are playing the St. Louis Cardinals. So you got and how about this? You got Dodgers, Padres. With the Padres in good position here, the Padres are underdogs. At Dodger Stadium? I think we take the.
Okay.
I think we take the Padres.
Let's take the Padres there. God, that's a big game. That's a big game for the division.
10-10 first pitch.
Made me think about that one. That's a big game for the division. I like it that. Now, can I maybe sell you on one more baseball game?
Okay.
The Cardinals. Do we dare bet against the Yankees tonight?
They've been playing a little bit better.
They have. And it seems like my bias is coming. Every time the Guards lose, the Yankees lose. So, there's no ground game that's been sitting there for half a game for about 2 weeks now. So, I'll listen. If you want to keep it how it is, I understand it.
You want to bet against the Mets again? They're minus 35 tonight. They're getting Seattle against them, and Seattle's plus 115 at Citi Field.
Okay.
They're 1-9. They're 1-9 in their last 10. Mike, they're 1-9 in their last 10.
I know, but you hate the Mets. Let's take them. We'll take Seattle plus 115.
I like that.
Now, this is one of your astronomical ones that you asked for yesterday. Your astronomical odds that this has to be like a plus 5,000, right?
So here's how this works. You can't parlay conflicting selections on Hard Rock Bet. But what I did is I just did the CJ
Separate
Stroud.
tickets, yeah.
I did the CJ Stroud with the 2 baseball that we have, with the 3 baseball that we have, excuse me. And so with the Milwaukee Brewer to win straight up, it's a 4-leg parlay. It's plus 21,000.
That's exactly what you wanted. That is exactly what you wanted.
$2 wager to win $420. I say we put 20 on this. So you get $4,221 in
Let's
return.
do it. Let's do it.
So we need. The funniest part.
The baseball
is
games
if we
could
go
just
3-0, if we go 3-0, we gotta wait about 9 months
Correct,
to see if we
see
win
our
this.
money. But that's why we do
CJ
it.
Stroud to win the NFL's most valuable player at plus 2250. You get the Padres to win against the Dodgers tonight with a game lead in the NL West. They're plus 140. You get the Mariners to beat the Mets. We're betting on a lot of teams to stay hot or stay cold. The Mariners to beat the Mets tonight at Citi Field. That's plus 115. And the Brewers to win against the Reds to win their 13th game in a row. That would be minus 135. And on top of that, we're such homers. Miles Garrett to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Can I defend myself?
Hold on. Travion Henderson to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, the Buckeye, and then Travis Hunter, the Jags player, to win the Defensive Player of the Year. Only Jags and Buckeyes on this show.
No, Miles Garrett went to A&M. Hang on. The fact that you gave me crap for Miles Garrett, plus 850.
There's no theme. That's no theme.
850 ESPN Cleveland. It's the station my dad works for.
That's
you
no
got to
theme.
take it.
That's not a theme.
That's good karma if I've ever heard of it. Our company's called Good Karma Brands. We got to take that. That's good karma right there.
All right.
Not to mention Theme, Magic, and Mojo, the 3 pillars of the show.
$20 to win.
Your words.
$20 to win $4,200.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Plus 20.
And when the Mets win by about 3 runs tonight,
then we forget about it. We're gonna turn into Houston fans if we turn into Houston Texan fans if all of a sudden we go 3-0 here and we just need CJ to win the MVP.
That probably won't happen.
You don't think so?
No, it's not gonna happen.
It's
Joe Burrow. Your MVP is Joe Burrow.
No, they're not gonna give it to a guy if he wins 8 games.
Throws for 5,000 yards, Kyle.
He did it last year.
Didn't quite hit the 5,000 mark, but I understand the point.
If they win 8 games, they're not giving it. They're not giving it.
And granted, it was one preseason game. Him and Chase, that looked like they were playing a different sport.
All right, it doesn't matter.
It looked like they were playing a different sport. That's all I'm saying. This is coming from a Brown fan. I hate that team. It's a carnival team down there in Kentucky, okay, in the Bungles. But mad respect for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, man.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be good defensively. I don't think they're going to be good defensively.
And Shamar Stewart, how about that? He played in those games. Played pretty good too.
Yeah, did you see he hit Burrow in practice and caused a fight because of it? He was the only one who hit Burrow in practice.
Obviously, you don't want your quarterback to go down.
No, don't touch the guy.
I kind of like that.
Don't touch the guy. Don't touch the guy.
I think he's got something to prove. I think he's had a little mean streak after everything that happened. I don't blame him.
I think that, weirdly enough, some people are high on the Bengals. I'm down. I don't think that team's going to be very good.
I think there's 3 good teams in that division. 2 good teams and probably a great one in Baltimore.
I mean, yeah, they're prolific offensively, but come on, you cannot expect.
Who do you like more?
Let me ask
you this: who do you like more, Pittsburgh or Cincinnati in that division? I think Baltimore wins.
I think Pittsburgh is. Pittsburgh's going to be above 500. I don't know if Cincinnati is going to be above 500. That would be my take. Would you agree with that?
It's fair. I'm high on Pittsburgh. I think they can win 10 to 11 games this year. I think Aaron Rodgers is an
I think they're going to be exactly what they
I'm on
always
the
are.
Rodgers bandwagon. I'm one of the lone.
I would say that AFC North outlook is Pittsburgh going to be what they always are? Are the Bengals going to be what you think they are? And are the Ravens finally going to break through?
Kyle, I'm one of the lone people in the country still, it feels like, that thinks Aaron Rodgers could do something with that team this year. Everything I hear and talk, oh, okay, well, Pittsburgh's, is this the year they go under 500? Everyone's kind of down on it. I mean, the great Mike Tannenbaum said that Will Howard's going to be starting by Thanksgiving. All right? So, putting that in perspective, everyone's out on that team. I think Rodgers has something to prove. He don't want his legacy. I don't think he wants his legacy to be remembered as failing at 2 other places that aren't Green Bay. That's all I'm saying.
Is he going to have his Favre moment, or is he not? That remains the scene. Can he have a great year like Favre did with that Vikings?
And they didn't win the Super Bowl. I just think he wants to, and it sounds like it's his last year for all intensive purposes from what we hear from interviews.
I don't think,
he doesn't have to win the Super Bowl.
I don't think Rodgers was that bad last year either. I think that team just kind of wasn't suited for him.
A lot of it was his fault.
And a lot of it was, Rodgers' GM coming in.
But he's not doing that. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the best run organizations in the sport.
That's it. I don't know. I would say that would be Ravens number 1, Steelers number 2, Bengals number 3. I don't think that team that's going to be the best division in the AFC.
Well,
I think that's going to be the AFC West.
Well, what about Shedeur Sanders?
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm a little over that. Did we do what he had for breakfast? Was that everything others? Was that what SportsCenter was this morning?
Well, the headline was
Shedeur had eggs and bacon this morning. Breaking news.
He's got an oblique. He's been out of practice. Dylan Gabriel probably going to get 2 quarters in the preseason game.
2 guys who we're not going to see in Game 1 of the NFL season.
Probably
and even you could agree with that.
I agree. Flacco's start. It's signed, seen, and delivered. Flacco. Say Pickett, too.
What
It's signed,
t-shirt-
seen, and delivered. One of those two is going to start.
What T-shirt did Shedeur Sanders wear walking into practice today?
I'm a Shedeur man.
Sharon Moore, how about this? So one question that everybody's had about this Michigan situation in terms of their punishment for the sign-stealing scandal, which is just 3 games for Sharon Moore, 2 this year and 1 next year. Many have asked why there's 1 game next year instead of this year. It's a punishment. You're not supposed to. The team's not supposed to be prepared for it. You're supposed to surprise them. But it was the conference of infractions, the people that put together this punishment.
Yeah,
it was their decision to make it next year, not Michigan, because Michigan was the team that said, "Hey, we'll suspend him for games 3 and 4 of this year," and they abided by that. And on top of that, it will be the first game of next year, and that was their decision, not Michigan.
And let's not forget, every coach in the Big Ten, obviously other than Coach Harbaugh, was in on Michigan and the penalties and the sign-stealing scandal. They went to the NCAA and said, please do something. It's how this whole thing started.
It's weird because Michigan self-imposed it this year for the games 3 and 4, and then they allowed them to do it next year in favor of what the COI wanted, what the governing party who did the infraction wanted. Very bizarre.
Yeah, good to know if a Power 5 team with money, if they get in trouble, nothing's going to happen.
Appreciate Damien Perez keeping us up over the air. Appreciate Mike Rizzo for sticking along with me. Stick around because right after this, we got ESPN West Palm High School game day kicking off with Palm Beach Central and Atlantic. You can hear from Coach Kevin Thompson in the pregame, and then eventually you will hear from Christian Cat doing the play-by-play on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo saying so long. Catch our weekend programming. Catch us tonight on ESPN 106.3.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's DQ Grill and Chill's new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard.